asked my Auntie Jennifer what slow stitching meant to her. She said it enables you to stitch how and where you like, and you can think about pattern and shape and go with the flow. And this is my chocolate beetroot brownie. It's always hard to get the first slice out, isn't it? Oh look, excuse fingers, better than toes. We're going to have a little snack and a cup of tea, and then we're going to go out on a slow stitch adventure. Yummy.
I like the way that Journey describes slow stitching as meditative stitching. I think it's a way of relaxing, and there's no right or wrong way. I think there's no one answer what is slow stitching. I think it means something different to everybody, but I think the main thing is just to have fun. I sat in an English rose garden, a little circular garden, absolutely gorgeous. It's very idyllic, but of course I can hear the hum of the planes and the road, but for us it's just a little bit of time for a little bit of peace and quiet. I'll show you my slow stitch journal. It might give you some inspiration. I've got a lovely vintage dinner mat, placemat for the cover, and that's inspired by lovely Lizzie Brewer. And so much of this journal is inspired by lovely Lizzie Brewer. A lovely dangle by Sophia. A lavender bag. You'll notice that it's not sewn up yet because I like things to be portable. I like to take things out and just take a sheet out with me to the lounge or to the garden or out and about. This was inspired by Lizzie. This is tulle netting, and underneath are just all the little scrips and scraps that are left behind. Deanie from Hot Threads has a project, and she says no scrap left behind, and she sent me these and I've used them as tabs. I've done like a little see-through heart there. Here's my lavender flower fairy page and lavender. Now sometimes you've got an embroidery background and you can do some of the embroidery stitches, say French knots for instance, or chain stitch. But if you don't know any stitches, you can just do running stitches. As I said, there's no right or wrong way to do slow stitching. You can even paint your own fabric with fabric paint. Look at this wonderful flower. Jean Bainey found this in the scrap bins and sent it to me. Beautiful, I think 1960s fabrics. I'm making this my 1960s page. I've just pinned on here little hearts, beautiful 1960s fabric from, I think, Beth's mother's apron. Beautiful fabric. And then I can take this page, it all comes out, take it with me and do some sewing on that. Look at this amazing pocket that Kimberly sent me. It was her husband's shirt. I don't think he was using it anymore. She's sewn it. It's where the sleeve is and the cuff comes off. Fantastic idea. Beautiful. And it's got buttons and paper and, oh, I love it. absolutely love it. And metal, beautiful. Now you can see when I do slow stitching, as I've said before, the backgrounds are so busy because I just get my little bits and pieces out and just sew. And then if I do go to put something on top, like this lady with all her hair, you can hardly see her, but it's just all done for the joy of it. Here, another busy page. I've got some of Angie's yo-yos sewn on here. I love them. And this is when I did that little bird. And I've sewn it on here. He had a little phase of doing folk art, slow stitching. And I like to put little tabs and charms on the pages too. You don't have to make your slow stitching into a journal. You could slow stitch on a bag. Lovely Lizzie Brewer has some amazing ideas. This border is from Journey. It's sewing for sewing's sake, art for art's sake. Next week I'm going to be making some slow stitch postcards and sending them through the post. And here's my lovely owl page and my little remaining owlet. The rest of the owlets have flown away on their travels all around the world. These heart shapes were just cut-offs from another project, but I thought, oh, I'm not going to waste this material. These are the names of the people. These little bits of material I used to make the feathers for my owl mummy. Now you can see that my backgrounds are just so busy. But that's because when I'm doing it, I'm just picking out little scraps of fabric and sewing them on, adding beads. You can add writing too. You can draw it out in a special pen that disappears and just do a little stitch. But don't worry if you want to just do big stitches. Look at these lovely crosses that Deanie did. Absolutely wonderful. Here's my button page on canvas. This is painted onto canvas. There's some buttons. Oh, my lovely 1970s material from lovely Teresa. Some more here, and I've embroidered here. I love the 70s. Probably need to make that bit a bit bigger to make the 7 stand out. I made a little pocket, and here's some amazing inspiration. This is from Renee, and this postcard with all this gorgeous texture travelled all the way through the post as a postcard from the United States. Isn't that amazing? And here's a little tuck spot. This is an ATC made by my Auntie Jennifer. There's some vintage tablecloth there and some wonderful stitches. I love it. I made a little envelope from Sophia's sari silk, and I made myself a little sari ATC joy. You can also use your StazOn ink to make words and letters. You can mix paper and fabric. I've done that here. Here's a little portable project. So I would go to my slow stitch journal and pull out this tag. It's all pinned up and ready to go. I've made some little houses on it, some vintage fabric. That's all ready to go. I'm going to put that here and do some of that later. I've got my little portable pin cushion with me, a little vintage one. It's got some thread in it and a needle, and I'm just going to sit here this afternoon in the peaceful surroundings and do some slow stitching, and I hope this may have been inspiring for you and that you might like to try some too. Take care.